When viewing Vow Village, please keep in mind there will be no catfights, no crisis, no shade. This is meant to be a celebration of couples who are making love work through the pandemic. We already know that bad news travels fast. Our hope is this good news can travel and last. This docuseries may have hints of other couple-centered shows, but it is uniquely designed to highlight happy couples with the alliance of wellness experts. Contrary to popular opinion, when things are going well, guidance from a mental wellness clinician can still take your relationship from good to better and from better to mo better. A collaboration where everyone in the room is an expert. Each host a trained wellness expert, while the couples are vow experts who have agreed to form this vow village, and it takes a village to raise a vow.
All different perspectives. It's a misnomer when people try to lump us together. So one of the things I want to do is open it up to them so they can share with people, what do you do? How do you handle this diverse relationship? Especially with a young man coming from Nigeria and Tawana, she's coming from Cleveland. So how do you handle that and not trying to make somebody like your culture? That's the misnomer. But to begin to open it up and begin to see our differences and make that a plus.
It's the biggest glue that holds you together, that transcends anything, transcends culture, transcends diversity. What is that glue that transcends it all?
A love for me. Because I met her when I was going through a really rough patch, and I jokingly used to call her my angel. I met her, so that just that I'm like, wow. All my flaws, she still loves me.
Okay.
Yeah. And subsequently leaving her in Ohio, moving to California, and she followed me down to California. And 9/11 happened, and that just changed a whole lot of things. Because originally, my parents, even myself to some extent, wanted to marry a Nigerian. But 9/11 happened, and she was in Korea. And she called to check up on me. Wow, all the way from Korea. So I said, what are you doing? She said, I'm sitting right here watching the news. I said, do you mind if I come visit you? So LA, Korea is actually a long flight.
Yes, it is.
And I had time to think. That flight changed everything. Because I traveled by myself, so I had thoughts, I had time to think, and I like, you know what? She's been there all these years. She got my back, and it really meant a lot that she called to check up on me. So I was like, you know what? When I get there, I'll see if we can make this work. Forget this marrying Nigerian business. There's someone that loves you.
Yes.
And my grandmother used to tell my auntie, said, marry who loves you, not who you love. Because you always grow to love that person.
Say that again for our audience. Say that.
So my grandma used to tell my auntie, and I never understood this because I always thought, no, she said, marry who loves you, not not the person you love. What kind of madness is that? Again, I was 17, 16 years when I heard that. But growing up now, because she said, because you grew up to love that person. Older now, even on that trip, on that flight, and I'm like, okay, this is what grandma meant. What, probably 80 years later, no more than that, maybe 10 years later. I'm like, oh, this is what grandma meant. Marry who loves you, not who you love. Because you eventually grow to love that person, and it will last longer.
Funny enough, my grandmother would say the same thing.
and that, yeah. So the greatest, that is our love for me.
Like you said, there are some differences between, African Americans and in his case, Nigerians, but I should say like broader differences. But I think a lot of it too is like your own maybe familial experience. So I felt like at the end of the day, we actually share a lot of the same values. My experience growing up, I don't think was very different from his, but maybe like in terms of, I don't know, certain foods, of course. I didn't grow up cooking like his favorite foods, and so that's something I have had to kind of like learn to do, and I've definitely embraced like a lot of the different recipes or whatever. But the primary plus for me is for our children. Not all African Americans, but some of us don't know like specifically where we come from. You can do your DNA test or whatever, and I've done mine. It turns out I'm like 33% Nigerian, so that was great.
Wow.
But for my children, they have sort of a home base in Africa that they can call their own. They can say, you know, I'm Nigerian. They can have sort of a touchstone with the food, the language, the culture. So between, you know, his parents, his siblings, they're able to have that. So I'm thinking that that's the primary plus for me, is that my children have sort of that, I don't know what the word is, but that grounding in Nigerian culture. So you don't have to kind of like guess and kind of piece it together like many of us had to do.
And learning to relate on different levels has been challenging at times, but it becomes very rewarding when they learn to work together and learn to accept each other's differences and make them collective goals for each other.
He balances me.
Yeah.
Let's say that. It's the Aquarius Libra thing. He is definitely my balance.
We know about your love language. What is your Fight Club language? When you guys argue and have disagreements, what does that look like?
Oh, they cute. We have go to your corners, pretty much, because I guess you could say that. Well, who gets? See, he's balanced, but he doesn't have that middle. It's the weirdest thing. He is definitely my balance beam, but he goes from this to this.
0 to 100.
0 to 100, like that.
Okay.
And,
I agree.
And when that happens, it's either we need to separate and go up to our own corners. Somebody got to go get some ice cream or something. You got to separate, and that's because at that point, I'm the one that won't shut up, and he's the one.
Did you say that?
He's the one that doesn't want to talk
She did.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I'm done. You know, it's
So-
like what else can be said? You know.
So I'm gonna still be like, but, where he's gonna be like, I'm not hearing you right now. So the only way to do that is to separate. You go this way, I go that way, and we're good. And we chill for a good maybe an hour, not even a long time.
Okay.
Because I'm not the type to just let you stay mad. I'll go in there and I'll make you laugh or something. You're not gonna stay mad at me.
Okay.
Especially if you're the reason why we met.
I want to ask a question. Deal breakers. You know what I mean when I say deal breakers? Things that's like, look,
Yeah.
if you do that or if you do that again,
Right.
we're going to be talking about where you going to sleep
Yeah.
because you can't stay here kind
Okay.
of stuff, right?
Oh yeah, we've all been there.
Have you guys experienced moments in your relationship where it was like, you know what, this might be a deal breaker, but you were able to come back from that?
He and I, we've always said this. If it goes to blows, once it goes to blows, if you have to hit me, or feel like you have to hit me, or if I have to hit you, or feel like I have to hit you, then there's no more. We don't need this
That's true.
because
That is a deal breaker.
I'm not the type to go to blows too much.
For both of you, you agree
Yeah.
that if it got violent, if it
Yeah.
ever got violent or
Yeah.
physical, that would be like, okay, we
Totally
probably
agree.
need to separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy for other couples to
And
hear
be cool with that.
that. Yeah.
I remember one time, Sean was mad at me and he hit me with a pillow. He was mad, like for real. And he took a pillow, pow! And I was like, what did you just do? That was how he took it out. And I was okay with that, but I was in shock because that was the first time he had ever done anything like that. And this was like years and years after. We hadn't even had our first argument until 2 years after our marriage.
Okay.
We never had an argument until after that. But he hit me with a pillow, and that to me was almost like, oh, it's on, you know? But now, that's when we had that conversation. That's when we had that first conversation saying, you hit me again, and it's really gonna be on.
Okay.
And that means not good. So We decided from that point further, no hitting of any sort.
Not even with the pillow.
Not even with a pillow.
Okay.
Don't hit me with a pillow.
Okay.
Like this, maybe,
Okay, don't.
When a man's not financially secure,
But look, I kept
that
saying,
plays a big part in.
but I kept saying I don't need a $10,000 ring. You could have went to not the gum bar, but you could have went and got like a lower,
Like to the
cheaper
swap
ring.
meet?
Yeah, anything.
Okay.
Just to say
No, let me
we
tell
engaged.
you.
You can give me the real ring on wedding
But
day
for
or
me
whatever
though,
case may
I
be.
wanted to be in a position where I knew I could take care of her because I knew we had a baby coming.
Yeah, but who got 10 years to
So-
wait on you?
I get it, but for me as a man, I saw my grandfather take care of the house. So for me, I was like, okay, am I in a financial position to say I'm her husband, but I'm still trying to grow my company. But God was like, if you do what's right, and as soon as we got married, that's when my
started
company
growing.
took off.
See how that works?
Your company took
Yes.
off after you got married.
Because God was said, because you're obedient, I'm gonna reward your family.
And by then, how pregnant were you
When we got married,
when you got married?
Had our baby 2 weeks later.
a lot that goes on with that. The dynamic. I'm the mother of the kids. We have 2 children, 2 and 4. Very active children. I'm trying to cuss. And I'll let you go ahead from there.
I guess my position is I don't try to be like the boss. And I never asked my wife to let me lead. I just did it by action. And I think for her, because she saw how I did conduct, she never had to tell me, oh, I need you to be the head of the household. And I think a lot of times people fall into that. If they got to ask you to lead, that means you ain't leading. And we don't have roles because I'm a
Yeah.
parent too. So it's just more like, I know I'm slipping when she start cussing me out. And it's like,
I don't cuss now.
So I need you to start changing this diaper more. I need some time by myself. Rodney will continue to take you, Amaris, to be my wife, to have and to hold as we continue to grow old from this day forward, for better, for slightly less than better, for richer, for balling on a budget, in pandemics and in health, to love, honor, and I will always put respect on your name. This is my vow to you, my queen.
I, Amaris, continue to take you, Rodney, to be my husband, to have and to hold, as we continue to grow old from this day forward, for better, for slightly less than better, for richer, for balling on a budget, in pandemics and in health, to love, honor, and I will always put respect on your name. This is my vow to you, my King Rodney. You are.
I also hope that other people will just find out that sometimes it's just a little thing. It's just a little tweak. It's just something simple that you can do to just change everything in your relationship.
You say your name
Did I
first.
say it too fast?
I'll show you how to do it. Yeah, you said too
He didn't
fast.
say it.
Say your
Are
name.
you the director?
You say
or
your name,
producer?
I'll say it. I'll show you how
Oh,
to do it.
yeah. My name is Amaris.
And I'm Rodney. Thank you for watching Vow Village. See?
Why'd you go so deep? Your voice ain't that deep.
Your mama voice deep.